Coming up next on Carolina News.
High school handgun. A high school student brought a loaded handgun to class. We're learning just how much danger students could have been in.
Sideline.
We just wanted our kids to play.
How COVID recruiting restrictions prevented these high school stars from reaching their goals.
School food shortage.
Right now we are in a perfect storm of supply shortage.
The latest group to be affected by the supply chain shortage, your children. Find out how the effects of the crisis have made their way into local cafeterias.
Carolina News starts now.
From the University of South Carolina, your news, your sports, your weather. Carolina News begins now.
Hello and welcome to Carolina News. I'm Amber Lipscomb.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Owen Duffy. Students and parents are shocked to find out that a student at Richland Northeast High School was found with a gun at school.
It happened yesterday. Authorities were hesitant to talk about the incident, but Carolina News reporter Bryce Jaquo has found out that gun was loaded.
Bryce is live at the Richland County Sheriff's Department with the latest. Bryce?
Thanks, guys. I'm live here today in front of Richland County Sheriff's Department, where officials are still investigating an incident that happened at Richland Northeast High School, where a 14-year-old student brought a loaded gun and ammunition to class in his book bag. Now, Principal Mark Sims sent out an email to parents and employees of the school yesterday, and he actually had to send another one out today correcting part of yesterday's email. Principal Sims originally told parents and employees that an unloaded weapon was found on school grounds. But actually, he had to correct that today in a follow-up email after the Sheriff's Department released their statement confirming that the weapon was indeed loaded. The 14-year-old student has been charged with having a weapon on school grounds, possession of a pistol under 18, and unlawful carry. No other students or faculty were harmed or threatened during the incident, and the weapon remained in the book bag until its discovery, according to the statement from the Sheriff's Department. Now, the school says that the gun was discovered during an investigation of possible stolen property, which led to administrators finding the weapon and ammunition. Now, I wanted to ask the Sheriff's Department about if the student had any intention of using the gun or if there was any confrontation or violence leading up to the incident, but the Sheriff's Department declined to be interviewed and also declined to give any statements in addition to yesterday's statement. The same goes for the school, Richland Northeast High School, and the school district. Both declined to be interviewed or to give any additional information. So we don't really know why exactly the student had a loaded weapon with him on school grounds. We do know, however, that nobody was harmed or threatened during the incident, and we will be following along for any potential updates from the Sheriff's Department or from the school. Live from Richland County Sheriff's Department, I'm Bryce Jaquo. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Bryce. We saw some clear skies with breezy weather today, but with chances of rain coming back soon, let's head out live to the Rose Garden where Hollis Brecher has our first forecast. Hollis?
Thanks, guys. No rain quite yet. We started out with a chilly morning in the 50s. Students were bundled up on their way to class, but it has turned out to be a beautiful sunny and 73-degree day out here in Columbia, with some rain showers coming on Thursday and then some cooler, spookier temperatures for your Halloween weekend. I'll have all that and more later in the show. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Hollis. COVID cases are down again in South Carolina today by more than 100 from yesterday's numbers, also down by more than 500 from Friday. Deaths are up today from 2 to 6, and the positivity rate jumped back up by over a point. Today, FDA health advisors met to discuss if smaller doses of Pfizer's COVID vaccine are safe for small children. Today's meeting was the first step towards expanding vaccinations to 28 million children ages 5 to 11. If approved, the shots could begin early next month.
Less parents will be allowed into Richland 2's school board meeting tonight due to COVID protocols and safety reasons. In-person seating will be limited to 20. Signs and other items will be banned, and no protesting will be allowed in the lobby. If you can't attend in person, the meeting will be live streamed online.
In the sports world, COVID has impacted the future careers of athletes beyond high school. For some, the effects that COVID took on their seasons kept them from their dreams of playing at the next level. Our reporter Allie McCraw has more on that story.
When the entire sports community came to a pause last year due to the coronavirus pandemic, it left many student athletes and coaches wondering what it meant for their seasons. For the football program at Gaffney High School, it was no different.
We just wanted our kids to play.
Much like what you see here, for over half of the season last year, this stadium was empty. That's because due to COVID outbreaks among their opponents, Gaffney football was only able to play 5 regular season games. Wanting to extend that to give their guys every opportunity possible, the coaches did everything in their power.
We used all of everything we could, relationships that we had in other coaches, social media, high school league, and then, just word of mouth. Hey, someone's looking for a game. We would call several teams and they had openings, but we couldn't get them to come and play us or us to go play them.
Being able to play only 5 regular season games impacted these student athletes beyond the high school level, as college coaches weren't allowed to come on high school campuses to meet and recruit due to COVID protocols. Recruits also weren't allowed to visit college campuses.
Early on, we had a couple of visits, but after that, and COVID hit, that stopped completely. So it was mainly phone calls, Zoom meetings, and the like.
According to the NCAA, of the over 1 million participants that play at a high school level, only 7.3% make it to play at the collegiate level. With new COVID rules, this made the limited opportunities they had to prove themselves on film that much more important.
How you present yourself on film is all they're going to get to see of you, so you better make sure you take advantage of each opportunity.
Recruiting virtually brought its own concerns, some of which these coaches had never seen before.
We had a couple of kids we thought were a higher level than what they ended up playing at.
Brad Logan, a wide receiver that ended up at Benedict College, was one of those athletes.
With COVID, I was worried. Me and my parents would talk about it all the time. But at the same time, I was like, I'm gonna find a way to get to the next level regardless. And the recruitment, it just made it harder for me to get the exposure to be on that same level as the same guys that play the same position as me is on right now.
Brad was one of the lucky ones. With the NCAA granting collegiate athletes an extra year of eligibility, many other athletes across the country were forced to end their career at the high school level, as there were limited opportunities for where they could play.
My whole career, you always tell them, play it like it's your last, and it has some reality to it now because, with the drop of a hat, if a big outbreak was to happen in the area or in the state, or the state was to shut it down, you're not guaranteed next week. So now it's not just an injury thing or getting beat being your last game.
For some, it's losing the opportunity to forward their future careers. For Carolina News, I'm Allie McCraw.
And even this season, coaches are still seeing players walk on or not play at all due to limited scholarships at schools. Less spots are available since some athletes already on teams got an extra year of eligibility due to COVID.
A new campaign is looking to give back to healthcare workers. The 30 Days of Thanks campaign recognizes the hard work of healthcare workers through giveaways to sporting events, restaurants, and more. Donations to the campaign are open to all and can be submitted on the South Carolina Hospital Association's website.
As the pandemic continues, the global supply chain shortage is impacting the health industry. Stores are having a hard time keeping shelves stocked with medical supplies, and some pharmacies are even having to delay prescriptions, leaving some consumers worried.
That's a big concern for people not being able to get certain medications and stuff like that. And that's a big impact on a lot of people.
Pharmacies are replacing brand name medications to make up for the shortage. Other items in short supply are wheelchairs, braces, and crutches.
Locally, there's a shortage of other necessities that affect the health of high school students. Our own Dalton Mixon talked to education officials to see what they can do about the food shortage in the Midlands.
Right now we are in a perfect storm of supply shortage.
The nationwide food shortage is impacting school districts all over the country, including the Midlands. Lexington 1 Executive Chef Wesley Wilson shows the strain on their district.
Lexington 1's one district of thousands across the country that are all fighting for the same food, basically.
The shortage is making it difficult for schools to provide adequate lunches for students.
And a year and a half ago, we were paying $1.19 a pound for chicken, and it's up to upwards of $2.75 a pound. It's really, it's been some trying times, and we're constantly looking for other avenues and resources to get quality product.
Another local school district facing challenges is Richland 1. Operations manager Andrell Walker says everyday items like takeout boxes is a big challenge.
The things that you take for granted, everyday items, now is like gold.
Walker says the main priority is to adjust menus and take the stress off the students.
Whatever their home life may be, we don't want to provide additional stress for anyone. So we want to continue to provide the same quality service that we always had.
With the supply chain so backed up, many suppliers don't have a timetable to return to normalcy.
It's going to be several years down the road, I think, before it fully recovers.
So for now, the only thing these school districts can do is adapt.
It's a day-to-day battle. We are taking it in stride.
For Carolina News, I'm Dalton Mixon.
Officials say that they are utilizing all local food bank suppliers to help the shortage and to make sure no student leaves school on an empty stomach.
More money is coming to help to families that need help paying for childcare. The state's Department of Social Services approved an increase to a program that sends reimbursements to childcare centers. With the increase, a childcare center typically receives $200 would receive almost $100 more. There are currently 17,000 children in the voucher program.
Still to come on Carolina News, Homeless No More. A new multi-million-dollar education center is helping families in need. Our Morgan Jackson will take you to the ribbon cutting next.